Welcome to English Podcast Academy. It's so nice to see you here. Really, it is. I'm Olivia, and I'll be with you throughout this episode, every step of the way. Whether this is your very first time here, or you've been listening for a while, I'm genuinely glad you pressed play. That small action, right there, is more powerful than it seems. Just by being here, you've already taken a positive, meaningful step toward learning English in a way that feels more natural, more real, and more you. You don't need a grammar book today. You don't need a notebook full of rules or a list of verbs to memorize. What you need, and already have, is enough. Your ears, a little curiosity, and a quiet moment just for yourself. Think of this as your time to listen, to feel the rhythm of English, and to let the language slowly become part of your world. In this video, we'll focus on something you use every day, even if you don't always notice it: the simple present tense. It's one of the most important tenses in English, not because it's complicated, but because it's everywhere. It's how you say things like, I eat breakfast, she works at a hospital, or the sun rises in the east. It helps you talk about habits, routines, facts, things that are always true or usually true. And today, we're going to explore it in a way that actually makes sense, not just in theory, but in real life. Here's what you can expect from this episode. First, I'll tell you a calm, everyday story. Something gentle, something simple, something that feels familiar. It might be a morning routine, a quiet afternoon at a cafe, or just a walk through a neighborhood. Nothing dramatic, but something real. The kind of story that makes the language easier to feel and remember. Then, I'll walk you through 6 easy tips. Clear, practical ideas to help you understand how the simple present works inside that story. We'll notice how verbs behave, how the subject affects the sentence, and how little things like usually, always, or never change the meaning. We'll look at these examples in a way that feels natural, as if we're just noticing how people speak. And finally, I'll leave you with a quiet reflection. Something gentle and personal, something to remind you that you're doing enough and that you're on the right path. Learning a language isn't a race. It's a slow, beautiful process. And every minute you spend listening like this matters. So grab your tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's begin. Let's make this time about you, your growth, your rhythm, your story with English. I'm really glad you're here. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. The sky is soft and pale, still waking up with the world. Leo wakes up slowly, not with an alarm, but with the quiet sounds of the day beginning. He hears birds singing outside the window, short, cheerful songs that float in with the breeze. For a moment he just lies there, still and silent. He doesn't turn on his phone. There are no notifications, no buzzing screens, just stillness. He stays quiet for a moment, listening to the world around him. The hum of the fridge, the distant sound of a car starting, a soft creak from the ceiling. Then he sits up, takes a deep breath, and gets out of bed. He stretches his arms wide, reaching toward the ceiling like a plant reaching for the sun. His back cracks gently, and he smiles. As he walks to the kitchen, his cat follows him, a small gray shadow with silent paws. She meows once, lightly, as if to say, "Good morning." Leo drinks warm water with lemon every morning. It's one of his rituals. The water soothes his throat and wakes up his body. Some people start their day with coffee, but not Leo. He doesn't like coffee. It makes him feel nervous, shaky, a little too alert. He prefers something softer, something that feels kind. He opens the window and leans forward, resting his elbows on the sill. The air is cool and smells like fresh leaves and distant bread. The sun rises slowly, painting everything in golden light. Down below, his neighbor walks his dog, a small white terrier in a red sweater. They do this every morning, around the same time. It's like a quiet rhythm the street shares. Back in the kitchen, Leo makes toast and eggs. The smell of toasting bread fills the room. He cracks 2 eggs into the pan and listens to them sizzle. Nothing fancy, just simple food that makes him feel good. He sits at the kitchen table, still in his pajamas, and eats slowly while looking out the window. Before he finishes breakfast, Leo opens his notebook, a plain brown one that's always on the table, and writes a single sentence. Today is a good day. He does this every morning, without fail. It's a small habit, but it matters. Just those 5 words help him feel calm, focused, ready. It's like setting an intention before the world starts moving too fast. At 9 o'clock, Leo opens his laptop. He works from home, so there's no rush to get dressed or leave the house. He answers emails, joins video calls, and takes notes. His desk is clean, with a plant in the corner and a cup of tea beside his mouse. He doesn't rush. He doesn't check the time every 5 minutes or try to multitask. He likes to move slowly in the morning, to let things unfold naturally. For Leo, peace is more important than speed. The world is already full of noise and pressure. But here, in his little apartment, with soft sunlight and quiet steps, he chooses something different. He chooses calm. Okay, now let's slow things down a little and really talk about how this tense works in daily life. You don't need to memorize any complicated rules. Just let it sink in naturally. We're going to go over 6 simple tips to help you feel confident using the simple present tense. No grammar stress, I promise. Just real, everyday English that you already hear and use more than you think. Tip 1. We use the simple present tense to talk about daily habits. This one's probably the most common. If something happens regularly, like every morning, every evening, or even just usually or sometimes, you'll use the simple present. For example, Leo wakes up at 7 o'clock. That's part of his routine. It's not a one-time thing. It happens again and again. Just like how you brush your teeth, you check your messages, or maybe you scroll through your feed before getting out of bed. If it's something that fits into your day, a habit, a rhythm, a routine, simple present is your go-to tense. Tip 2. When you talk about other people, like he, she, or it, you usually add "-ens" to the verb. This one's tiny, but important. The verb changes just a little when you're talking about someone else. So it's, I drink water, but he drinks water. I work from home, but she works from home. That little apostrophe makes a big difference. In Leo's story, we say, Leo makes toast, not Leo make. This is one of those things your brain gets used to just by hearing it a few times. It's like learning to ride a bike. Awkward at first, but soon it just clicks. Tip 3. If something doesn't happen, we use don't or doesn't. Let's say Leo doesn't drink coffee, and he really doesn't. It makes him feel nervous. So we say, Leo doesn't drink coffee. That's the form for he, she, or it. But if we're talking about ourselves or a group, we use don't, like, I don't eat eggs, or we don't go out on Mondays. One small word changes the whole meaning, and now you're saying what doesn't happen. It's clear, direct, and super useful. Tip 4. For questions, we use do or does. This one's all about flipping a sentence into a question. Instead of he drinks tea, we ask, Does he drink tea? That little helper word, does, is what signals the question. And here's something interesting. The main verb goes back to its base form, so it's drink, not drinks. Same thing with do. We say, do you like music, or do they play football? It feels different at first, but once you get used to it, it starts to sound natural. Tip 5. We also use the simple present for general facts, things that are always true. This is one of my favorites because it shows how the simple present isn't just for talking about your day. It's for describing the world. Like, the sun rises in the east. That's always true. Or, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. These facts don't change. Even in Leo's story, we hear this with, the sun rises slowly, or cats hate water. Okay, not all cats, but it's a common truth. English uses the simple present to give these facts their timeless quality. Tip 6. And finally, use it for scheduled things, like timetables or programs. This one surprises a lot of people because it sounds like the future, but English uses the simple present. If something is on a schedule, like a train, a class, a movie, we still use this tense. For example, the train leaves at 10 o'clock. Even though that's in the future, it's treated like a fixed plan. In Leo's story, we hear, he opens his laptop at 9 o'clock. It's part of his schedule, just like a train departing or a class starting at 2 p.m. And here's the cool part. You already heard all 6 of these in Leo's story, without even realizing it. That's what makes listening so powerful. You're not just hearing English, you're absorbing it, bit by bit, phrase by phrase. Your brain is learning the rhythm, the structure, the logic, without needing charts or textbooks. So keep listening, keep noticing. You're already doing the hard part just by showing up and letting the language live in your ears. You've done something powerful today. You take a piece of English, you turn it over in your mind, and you listen until it feels familiar. You don't just study grammar, you feel the rhythm of real life in every sentence you hear. That is how your brain truly learns, by listening, noticing, repeating in quiet moments, and letting each new sound settle like soft rain on soil. So keep that calm pace. Take your time, never rush. Give yourself space to breathe between sentences, the same way you pause between sips of tea. Even 10 focused minutes of listening each day works like planting a tiny seed. At first you see nothing. Then a small green shoot appears, and before you know it, words bloom into confidence. 10 minutes is not an obligation, it is a gift you give yourself. And the path is already clear. We prepare the playlists so you do not need to search or scroll. You open the app, press play, and let English flow through your headphones while you walk the dog, wash the dishes, or wait for the bus. Little moments become learning moments. The language blends into your day as naturally as sunlight through a window. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. I am right here with you, guiding each step, and thousands of listeners are walking beside you, sharing the same goal. Whenever you return, the door is open, the stories are ready, and the voices are warm. I will see you again in the next episode. Until then, keep listening, stay curious, and take good care of yourself.